Good evening, I am Viktor. I have lived for 400 years, and in that time, I have witnessed plagues, wars, and the invention of the leaf blower. None of these have drained the life from humans quite as efficiently as ignoring compound interest. Compound interest is simple, almost insultingly so. You earn interest on your money, then you earn interest on that interest. It grows quietly while you sleep. I also work while you sleep, but that is a separate matter. Let us look at the actual numbers. I find numbers clarifying. They do not negotiate. They do not have feelings. I respect this about them. Here is the core idea. You have money. That money earns interest. Now you have slightly more money. That slightly more money also earns interest. You now have slightly more than slightly more money. This sounds trivial. It is not trivial. It is, over time, extraordinary. $5,000 invested, 7% annual return. You touch nothing. You do not panic in February when the market does something alarming. You simply wait. After 10 years, you have $9,800. You put in $5,000. You now have nearly $10,000. You did not work for that extra $4,800. Time did. After 20 years, $19,300. After 30 years, $38,000. You put in $5,000. 30 years later, without adding a single additional dollar, you have $38,000. This is not magic. This is arithmetic. Boring, patient, relentless arithmetic. There is a shortcut I want you to know. It is called the Rule of 72. I did not invent it. I wish I had. It is elegant. Take the number 72. Divide it by your interest rate. The result is approximately how many years it takes for your money to double. 7% return. 72 divided by 7. Roughly 10 years to double your money. 10% return. 72 divided by 10. Roughly 7 years. This works in reverse as well. And this is where it stops being pleasant. 22% interest rate on a credit card. 72 divided by 22. Your debt doubles in approximately 3 years and 3 months. 3 years. You borrowed $5,000. You made your minimum payments. You still owe $10,000. You made your minimum payments. You still owe $10,000. I want you to sit with that. Now I want to show you something that genuinely disturbs me. And I have seen disturbing things, many disturbing things, across several centuries. $5,000 on a credit card, 22% interest. You decide to handle it responsibly. You make the minimum payment every single month. You do not miss one. You are disciplined. You are doing the right thing. The minimum payment is typically calculated as a small percentage of your current balance. As the balance shrinks slightly, so does your minimum payment. This sounds reasonable. It is not reasonable. It is a mechanism. At that rate, it will take you approximately 30 years to pay off that $5,000. 30 years. And over that time, you will have paid roughly $9,000 in interest alone. On a $5,000 purchase, you paid for the thing. Then you paid for it again. Then you paid for most of it a third time. And somewhere in South Dakota, someone is doing very well. The minimum payment is not a payment plan. It is a subscription to debt. I want you to see both of these things at the same time. Person A puts $5,000 into a retirement account at age 30. 7% return, leaves it alone. At age 60, $38,000. Person B carries $5,000 on a credit card at 22% for 30 years, making minimum payments. At the end, they have paid $14,000 total and have nothing. The difference between these two people is not income. It is not intelligence. It is discipline even. It is direction. Compound interest flowing toward them or compound interest flowing away from them. You want it flowing toward you. This requires only two things: starting and not stopping. The second one is harder than it sounds. But the first one you can do today. I waited until 1981 to learn this. I had been alive for 400 years. Do not be like me in this specific way. I want to tell you something personal. And I do not do that lightly. I am a very private entity. It was 1981. I had survived the Black Death, 2 world wars, and the introduction of disco. I believed I was immune to foolishness. Then a small plastic card arrived in my mailbox. It was blue. It had my name on it. It said I had a limit, which I found insulting. I do not have limits. I am eternal. The bank was from South Dakota. I had never been to South Dakota. I did not know why a bank in South Dakota to do business with me in wherever I was living at the time. I did not ask questions. This was my first mistake. I used the card. Of course I used it. Everyone was using them. There were advertisements. Beautiful people signing small pieces of paper and receiving things. I wanted things. I should have remembered my old friend Diderot. One beautiful thing, and suddenly nothing around it is good enough. You replace one item, then another, then another. He wrote about this at length. I was there when he wrote it. I did not take notes. But that is a story for another day. I bought a cape, a very good one. I bought several. I bought items for the crypt. Furnishings. You would not believe what a good coffin cost in 1981. I made the minimum payment each month. It said minimum payment right on the statement. I thought, this is the correct amount. They would not print it if it were not correct. It was not correct. The interest rate was 22%. I did not read the agreement carefully. It was very long, and I had things to do at night. By the time I understood what was happening, I owed more than I had originally spent. The balance was growing. On its own, while I did nothing. Compound interest on debt does not care that you are making payments. It is calculating against you every single month. Your payment reduces the balance slightly. The interest then charges on the new balance. Then the next payment reduces it slightly again. The interest charges again. It is patient. It is relentless. It is, in a word, vampiric. And I say that with both authority and shame. It took me longer than I will admit to pay off those capes. And the coffin. The coffin especially. I tell you this not because I enjoy vulnerability, I do not. I tell you this because 1981 was the year the banks figured out that compound interest on revolving credit was the most efficient wealth extraction mechanism ever devised by humans. They were right. Do not use it on you. You may be wondering what I did. I do not blame you. I would wonder too. I did what most people do first. I ignored it. I am 400 years old. I have outlasted empires. Surely I could outlast a credit card balance. I could not. The balance did not care that I was ignoring it. It continued to grow, every month, quietly, while I was attending to other matters. By the time I looked at the statement again, it had grown by an amount that I found deeply offensive. So I did the second thing most people do. I made a large payment, a dramatic payment. I felt very good about this payment. The next month, the interest charged again. My dramatic payment had made a smaller dent than I expected. I was annoyed. I made another large payment. The cycle continued. What I did not understand, and what I want you to understand, is that there is a correct order of operations for paying off debt, and most people do not know it because no one teaches it. First, you stop adding to the balance. This sounds obvious. It is not obvious when the card is in your wallet and the cape is in the shop window. Second, you find the highest interest rate debt you carry. You pay minimums on everything else. Every extra dollar goes to that one balance, only that one. You do not split it. You do not spread it around. You attack one debt until it is dead. This is called the avalanche method. I did not name it, but I respect it. It is efficient. It is cold. It has no feelings. These are qualities I admire. When that balance reaches zero, and it will reach zero, you take every dollar you are putting toward it and redirect it to the next highest interest rate debt. The payment grows larger each time. The debts fall faster each time. It took me 4 years to pay off the capes and the coffin. 4 years of discipline that I, a being of infinite time, found genuinely difficult. But on the day the balance reached zero, felt something I had not felt in a very long time. Not quite happy. I do not do happy. But less annoyed. Considerably less annoyed. That is the closest thing to victory that personal finance offers. I will take it. But compound interest is not loyal. It works for credit card companies just as happily as it works for you. 18% interest on a balance you carry month to month. It feeds on you slowly, invisibly, and without remorse. I recognize this behavior. I do not apologize for it. But I am at least telling you it is happening. Pay off your balance. Compound interest will drain the life from you, or it will work quietly on your behalf. The choice, irritatingly, is yours. Good night. Next time, we discuss the emergency fund. I have seen grown adults drain their entire retirement account for a new transmission. This did not have to happen.